Hello and welcome to this webinar all about Ford's SUV and all-wheel drive vehicles. Now behind me we've got the SUV lineup. That's the subject of another video, but right now we're going to look at the all-wheel drive vehicles. In addition, we've got other videos about what makes great SUV design, and we'll be looking about how the SUV sector has expanded and evolved in recent years. But as I said, let's concentrate on the all-wheel drive cars for now. The all-wheel drive systems offered on Ford vehicles are tailor-made to suit each individual product. Here to tell us about them in a little bit more detail, I'm pleased to introduce Simon Robinson, Rolf Degges, and of course Stefan Beckers. Thank you guys for joining us. Simon, one word often associated with all-wheel drive is durability, and of course there aren't many vehicles more durable than the Ford Ranger, but it's not actually technically an all-wheel drive vehicle, is it? Because it's got a kind of an old school system, if you like. You can drive it two-wheel drive on the road with just the rear wheels having power. You can move into four-wheel drive high ratio, again kind of road use, and you can also select four-wheel drive low range when you're tackling really steep rocky terrain or deep mud, or you need to tow another heavy load, or, for example. How difficult is it to actually operate the system on Ranger?
Well, the system's very easy to operate, in fact. You can shift on the fly, so while the vehicle's moving, from two-wheel drive mode to four-wheel drive mode. So as you can see an obstacle coming your way down the road, a slippery surface, a patch of snow, a puddle, some mud, the operator can move from two-wheel drive mode into four-wheel drive. The vehicle will shift, all four wheels will be engaged, and at which point you can safely negotiate the obstacle that you could see.
And what about if you want to shift from four-wheel drive high range into the cross-country low range gears? What do you have to do then?
Okay, in an event like that, the speed has to be at zero. But normally when you're coming across an obstacle like that, you are travelling very slowly anyway. So you pull the vehicle to a halt and you shift manually from high ratio to low ratio and then move on to tackle that really quite tricky situation, for which the Ranger is ideally suited. It's set up with 229mm of ground clearance, allowing you to overcome some serious potholes, lumps, bumps, ruts, etc. Loose surfaces, especially when you're in low range, you can move forward through that.
Now, I've been in Ranger off-road, I know exactly what it's capable of, and it is an exceptionally durable vehicle. But we can't talk about durability and not mention transit, and that's got a completely different all-wheel drive system.
Indeed, that's absolutely right. The all-wheel drive system in transit is an intelligent all-wheel drive system where the system is continuously monitoring the wheels, the driver input and the road surface. The vehicle starts life as a rear-wheel drive transit. There is no ride height changes or anything like that. The system then has a mechanical front-wheel drive axle via a mechanical diff and a wet clutch that brings into play the front wheels. As and when the vehicle senses that the rear are slipping, it will then automatically transfer torque to the front wheels to get the driver and the vehicle out of the slide or the problem that it's foreseeing.
People are going to be pretty surprised, aren't they, how far transit will go off the beaten track. It's a capable performer in the rough stuff.
It certainly is, and especially if you use the all-wheel drive lock button that will switch it into a permanently locked four-wheel drive mode. The system then has reduced ESP interventions and allows the vehicle to really tackle some seriously steep surfaces, slippy surfaces, deep sand and gravel.
Thanks very much for that, Simon. Rolf, we've heard from Simon obviously how four-wheel drive's beneficial on muddy and slippery surfaces, but it also works really well on tarmac, doesn't it? And I'm talking obviously sort of S-Max, Galaxy and new Mondeo. The advantages are real.
It's a big advantage on a day-to-day usage, especially if the road conditions are difficult, like if they are muddy, if there's snow or ice on the road. The system we are using, we're calling an intelligent all-wheel drive system, and it's intelligent because the customer doesn't have to interfere with it at all. It's always on, and it uses a raft of sensors to detect the grip level between each tire and the road. It in fact does this every 16 milliseconds, so 20 times faster than a blink of an eye. Using that data, then the system decides where to apply the torque to maximize the grip and the traction, but also the stability and the controllability of the vehicle. So it's a clear customer advantage.
Okay, so Edge shares the same platform as Mondeo, S-Max and Galaxy, but that's got off-road capability as well. So is the intelligent all-wheel drive on Edge different to intelligent all-wheel drive on S-Max, Galaxy and Mondeo?
It's the identical system in terms of components which we're using, all the components from the global CD car platform, but it has been tailored to an off-road usage. So it's perfectly tuned for the Edge, which has on-road and off-road capability. This intelligent all-wheel drive system is capable, for example, to transfer up to 100% of the torque from the front wheels to the rear wheels.
So it inspires confidence and it's great if you want to have an adventure.
Exactly.
Thanks, Rolf. Okay, so we've established that Edge is really good if you want to have an adventure off-road. But Stefan, the fact is, Cougar's even more capable.
Absolutely, Rick. The Cougar offers a 20 centimeter ground clearance with the perfect approach and departure angles to make it a full, complete off-roader, suitable for every off-road terrain, but as well usable on the normal roads.
And again, because the system's fully automated, the driver doesn't have to do anything. The car just reacts to the terrain and gets you to your destination.
Absolutely. It's instantaneously available, so it helps you and you don't need to manipulate anything mechanically to the vehicle. It just helps you and delivers you wherever you want to go, and it lets you enjoy your adventure.
So we looked at how you can have a great adventure with all-wheel drive. You can also have a lot of fun, can't you? Especially with the new Focus RS. I mean, that's got a performance-orientated all-wheel drive system. How does that work?
Yes, Rick, that is really the supercar for the fun lover in this category. It's got the all-new Ford Performance all-wheel drive system with dynamic torque vectoring, which means that you can get a very high speed around the corners in full stability, and it gives you the next level of performance. It also features 4 levels of tuning for your whole system and your whole car, which goes from a normal mode over to the sport mode, over to the track mode, and finally into your drift mode.
Customers are going to be blown away when they drive this vehicle, aren't they, Stefan?
Absolutely. It's even got an active launch control system, which allows you to sit still at a standstill, put your foot to the metal, let the clutch go, and off you go with full power and full traction.
Stefan, thanks for telling us about Focus RS. I know just how good it is because I've been in the passenger seat. It's a really good product, and I appreciate taking the time to talk to us. Rolf, thanks again for explaining about all-wheel drive works on S-Max, Galaxy and Mondeo. And Simon, thanks for talking to us about the Ranger and also Transit. Wow, who wouldn't want a Focus RS, or indeed an all-wheel drive Galaxy or S-Max for that matter? But these aren't all of Ford's all-wheel drive vehicles. You can find out more information about the rest by visiting your Ford website.